Humans have been mesmerized by the moon since the dawn of man. And although many theories have been proposed, scientists cannot say with absolute certainty how this celestial object came into being.
When I was a student, nobody really knew where the moon came from, and because it's so relatively big, this was a real problem. And I think that there is a tendency to think that moons get somehow captured by the parent planets. If you've got one body here and another body coming along, it can't just get trapped into orbit like that. The difficulty there is just basic physics. So this remained a puzzle until about 20 years ago, when another theory came along, and that is that the proto-Earth was very early on in the history of the solar system hit by a Mars-sized body, hit obliquely, that this Mars-sized body ploughed into the center of the Earth and became the Earth's core, and a lot of the outer material got stripped off by this gargantuan collision and coalesced to form the moon.
Now, they had to come up with a very bizarre theory for how the moon came into being, because all the conventional theories don't make any sense. The best theory of the moon's formation is phantasmagorically catastrophic collision of two things, you know, at just the right angle to form this belt of debris that then formed the moon. But the moon, its exact size is such that it gives us total eclipses. Its disk exactly covers the sun. And the chances of that occurring are so literally astronomically small. It's very disturbing.
The sun's diameter is 400 times greater than the moon, and coincidentally, the sun also happens to be nearly precisely 400 times further away. This is the reason that the sun and the moon appear the same size in the Earth's sky, and why we on Earth can experience eclipses of the sun.
It's just perfectly in that orbit to eclipse our sun. The odds of the moon being in that orbit accidentally are a zillion to 1. So that right there is evidence that our moon is in a perfect orbit around our planet that's not accidental.
In order to have a solar eclipse, the moon has to be exactly the size that it is, which is 2,160 miles. Not 2,161, not 2,159, but 2,160 miles at its equator. And there are people out there that actually think that's a coincidence. The fact is that that is by design.
Throughout our observable galaxy, this relationship and others have not been duplicated. Other moons are sizably smaller by comparison to their mother planet. Earth's satellite not only orbits closer than it should for its size, it is also the only moon in the solar system that has a near-perfect circular orbit. And no other lunar bodies are known to have such a stabilizing role as the moon has with the Earth.
Recent computer simulations have shown that without the moon's presence, the Earth's axis tilt would be completely different than it is today. We might not even have seasons as we know them presently. Without the seasons, it could be very difficult for life on Earth. So the moon is actually performing an incredible function. It's life-sustaining. Without it, we might not be here.
There are so many peculiarities about the way the moon has affected the Earth that one might be forgiven for believing that there is intelligence behind it, that something made it that way. The moon is so strange, so odd, in terms of what we find elsewhere in the solar system, and particularly in terms of what it does for the Earth, having made the Earth into a haven for life, that one feels obliged to ask the question, could such things have come about by chance? Was it placed there deliberately? Was it engineered, maybe by aliens? And therefore, is our whole existence a planned event?